Hello, everyone. This is Zayami Eccles-Irwin from FilmFestivalCircuit.com and the Assistant Director of the Austin Comedy Film Festival. We are gearing up for our summer 2023 screening, which is going to take place on July 30th at the Austin Film Society Theater. And today we're talking with one of our participating filmmakers. Jake Brennan is the director, writer, and star of The Shark. Jake, thank you so much for meeting with me today.
Thanks for having me, man. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Let's jump into it. The shark is hilarious, and you offer a character that's just infinitely pleasing. You know, despite being kind of a bastard, he's sort of this, I don't know, delightful underdog. How did you come up with this? What inspired you?
Well, I think I took a lot of it probably from like more TV nowadays. I think kind of the
Okay.
anti-hero, the bad guy that we root for with Succession or a lot of stuff that Danny McBride's done. That's kind of been very inspirational to me and kind of built my sense of humor from that. So I think just kind of being the bad guy that you kind of go, I like this guy for some reason.
Right.
That was
Okay.
kind of the origin I think of the piece I wanted to make.
Okay, that's cool. I love that. Well, tell me, what was the process like for coming up and writing this character?
Well, I'm not that creative, so it has to be based on real life, right? So, back in the day during college, I had a summer job at Best Buy,
Okay.
and it was a very fun job. I enjoyed doing sales. It was a good college gig for sure. But we actually had I was selling TVs and just as a
Okay.
sales associate. But we had a elderly lady come in with her son, and her son was I'm guessing a drug addict if I had to guess, and I think it was pretty obvious. Anyways, he goes in there and you can tell he's just like one of these. He's just totally using his mom, right? The guy's like 40 years old, and he's
Right.
just like, oh, I want the big screen, I want all these things. Like he reminded me of a kid, like a kid from like Willy Wonka. You know what I mean? He just wanted
Right.
everything, right? And as a sales guy, that's the best, right? Because you're like, I know I'm going to make a huge sale here, and he's getting the TV installation, speakers, surround sound, like everything, right? And you're like, oh my god. I almost want to tell her like, don't do this. Like, you're never gonna pay this off. Like, don't buy this. But obviously, I'm split with the job of the salesman. I'm supposed to sell, right? And she goes, hey, you guys do credit cards by chance? I'm like, oh my god, that's the rates on that. You're gonna lose your house. Like, don't do that. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. So I get $10,000 get like credit card. And it was literally the sales of summer. It was like the biggest sales the store had that summer. So I remember typing out, like, yeah, Jake, you're awesome. Like, you're this guy. I'm like,
Oh,
oh,
hold
my
on for one
God,
second.
so
Sorry, the mic is doing the issue. Maybe we can. Could you try maybe unplugging it and doing computer speakers potentially? Sorry about that. I don't know. All of a sudden, it started to does this weird echo thing. But no, it's crazy because you're describing basically you're the Gordo character in your own life, which is great because he's got this moral center. Let's see, the mic's still doing that. That's so weird. I don't know. Maybe we could try um, just going through the computer mic or something like that. Technology always wants to cause an issue, right, when we rely on it most. Let's see, I can't hear you right now. If you go into your settings there.
how about now?
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Is this good or
Yeah, that works.
okay?
Cool. Okay. So yeah, you're in the middle. So basically you had that experience that
All right.
Gordo had, this, mom being
Yeah,
used to
I
spend
had
$10,000.
I had the experience, and my manager at the time, Will, he called me in his office. He's like, Jake, I don't give this speech to many people often. If you keep this up, all this could be yours one day. You could be me. And I'm 19 at the time. Like I want way more out of life than that. And and then he's like, you're a shark. And then that was the origin of the idea. And then years went by, and I do stand up comedy as well, right? So it's a
Okay.
story I've told on stage and in different venues. But I was like, that'd be a pretty funny short film, right? And then it happy it was in the middle of COVID, so I'm just at home, miserable all day, eating my sorrows away. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to write that. We're going to make this. And then that was the origin story of it.
Wow, that's incredible because watching it, I thought, this is, kind of holding a mirror up to that world of sales and sort of, whatever, a shark like, uh, salesman. But I thought, like, there's no way that this is real. This is like a gross exaggeration of something that we can all feel a distaste for. You experienced that. That's incredible.
Yeah, I experienced it.
What did it
Obviously,
feel
I took
like?
some liberties.
What was that onset process like? What did it feel like to then embody this character who was the source of your own distaste as a kid?
I mean, I can't lie. It was a lot of fun, right? You've seen the film. Thanks for watching it. And obviously, I'm having a lot of fun as that guy. So it was not like a, oh, woe is me type character. It was something I really got to go into it, and there's a lot of meat on that on the bone of that character to really just go for it,
Totally.
So I had a ton of fun. What was interesting to me is I've made comedy sketches. I've been in like movies and TV and commercials and stuff, but this was kind of my first project where I was kind of doing it all, right? I was kind of,
Yeah.
director, writer, producer, kind of having to wear all the different hats. And I didn't realize how much I'd like those other aspects of it. Like the one actress in our film, Dawn, the female
Right.
sales associate. We did another scene with her. We had to cut it. It didn't really make sense for the flow of the film, but like she's such a great actress. And just being behind the camera, hearing her deliver these lines, like better than I even imagined them when I wrote them. It's like that really inspires you and really got me hyped up. So that was awesome. Also scheduling, in my head, because I'm used to kind of doing run and gun like comedy sketches. I'm like, oh, we'll get this done in a night, right? Because we're able to use my friend's real estate office, so we shot nights, right? And I'm like, oh, we'll get this done in one night. Well, one night came and went, and we weren't even halfway done. So, when you're shooting something at like the kind of short film level, you're looking for a little higher quality. So it took us two full nights to get it done. So just scheduling, a lot of the first time director kind of stuff that you learn on the go. But it was I took film classes when I was in university and stuff, but I would say this was really my like film school as far as the wealth of knowledge I was able to learn and put pieces together. I feel like I'm like 100x like better than I was before the project.
Okay, well, that's very cool. I mean, and so it sounds like you have an experience being in front of the camera and being on stage with stand up, and you had the gestures, you had the delivery down. So this is interesting. This is your kind of intro experience to a little bit more behind the camera stuff. I'm curious, what did you take away from this? What did you learn from this? Is there any like solid nuggets of knowledge that you're gonna incorporate in your next projects?
I think it's pretty crazy I think when you're young, you do crazy stuff because you don't know any better. I think it is pretty crazy to write, direct, and act. Like that's quite a workload. I'm not saying I did all those aspects well, but I did them. And I would say really, it's like anything you hear, even like professional and high level people. It's all about the cinematographer, the gaffer, like the team you have with you is really going to be able to strengthen you so you can kind of do that. Because it was really interesting. Even as we're acting, there were certain scenes, and I called cut on myself. So like I'm doing a scene, I go cut fake. Like I could tell the eye line was off, or I felt fake about it. So that's almost like a psychosis of some sort, when you're doing that. But
split personality.
I did really enjoy it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Well, so I wanted to ask also, this is a little tidbit. I assume, were you the editor of this film?
Well, there's another whole story there. Talking about the team.
Yeah.
We had a couple editors follow, and then again, as an indie filmmaker, you just got to kind of grab the reins and do it yourself. A lot of this, I was a first timer in a lot of these aspects, so I kind of had to just run and gun on the go. And back to the kind of the directing question, asked what I learned is we pretty much had no coverage, so a lot of it I had to do like different insert shots or find funny ways around it because we didn't really have enough to cut away to.
Right. Okay.
So that was a great lesson in setting yourself up for success after the shoot, right?
Well, I really love the inserts, and it's funny to hear that was sort of a creature of necessity there. But no, it gives me this great kind of fresh, a little bit internet age quality to have. I think the pace is a little bit faster with these quick cuts of. I mean, it's like. Even something as mundane as like the world turning, I thought that was hilarious. And I feel like that lent itself very well to the style of humor.
Thank you.
That's very interesting. Well, what are you working on next? Any more shorts, any more with this particular character?
I think this character is probably getting retired. I had a lot of fun playing him. I don't know if there'll be anything upcoming that I'm working on. Again, I don't know if you can see this poster. It's kind of the light is kind of washing out. That's a Clerks 2 poster signed by the great Kevin Smith. Yeah, I got to actually meet him. He came to my hometown of Brantford and did a live show and a signing. So I went there, I met him, and I actually won tickets to his show, and it was a pretty surreal encounter. But I got to talk to him a little bit, and I think obviously his career speaks to this, but I was happy I got to talk to him, in person about it. just about having a lot of irons in the fire, and not really ever waiting for the phone call for, somebody to call you and go, hey, we'd love you to work on stuff. You really, especially in today's internet age, you got to be a self-starter. You got to work on your own stuff. And that being said, I probably put too much on my plate and get mad when it's not all going perfectly. Right. But I think that's kind of almost in a 24/7 world, you almost kind of have to do that. But what's next for me to, long answer, even longer, is I'm going to be doing a story time series called Jake Brennan Not Bragging. And it's like a fireside chat, kind of like Sam in the Bull Gravano series on YouTube, kind of like that, telling stories. And that'll be kind of like more kind of party oriented, talking about college and just roasting stuff. And it's really comedy based.
Awesome.
And then this fall, I'm going to have a sketch series coming out called Jake Brennan Not Sketchy. And we're going to do this season is going to be called 23 and 23. So we're going to have 23 sketches in the year 2023.
Okay.
Yeah, so we're shooting all those right now, writing, editing, wearing all the different hats again. And as far as film or TV goes, I've been fortunate and blessed enough to talk to a few different agencies right now. Sent the film out, and I've got a very good response from it. So nice. I'm kind of talking to different agents and figuring out who I might sign with. Obviously, the writer's strike and then the coming possible actor's strike is kind of, not ideal, right? But, it's, I totally stand with them as far as, the union and stuff like that. But so hopefully I can sign with an Ari Gold level agent and then do some big projects. That's kind of what I'm hoping for.
Excellent. Well, you've got incredible momentum here. You've got your own projects. You've got agents talking to. I mean, that's exactly where I think the future lies. So honestly, best of luck with all that. And the shark is so funny that even if you said you want to, just focus on one role and pick up a bigger cast and crew and stuff like that, it's got a momentum, it's got a charm, it's got an appeal. So really incredible
thank
film. Is there any final things you'd like to say about the shark?
Okay, there is. Thank you for asking. So I call it the shark, an old school comedy.
Yeah.
There is a connection to the film Old School, and I don't know if any of the viewers have been able to notice it. My character's name is Max in the film.
Yeah.
And also the electronics store I work at is called Speaker City.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say about that. So if you look into that, there's a connection to a famous comedy film there.
Okay.
And it's just kind of paying homage to that. So just, Speaker City and the shark and old school comedy. You'll connect the dots on that one. But
I love that. It's layered.
Yes, it's layered. It's a backdoor sequel to one of my favorite comedy films ever. And that's all I'll say about that, a little Easter egg.
Totally. Okay, well, that's awesome. Well, thank you, Jake. I'm really looking forward to playing the shark at the Austin Comedy Film Festival. I think people are going to love this one, and they're going to love to hate your character in it, which is, I think, one of the strongest appeals. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing more from you as it goes on.
Thanks a lot for having me. I can't wait to meet you in Austin at the end of the month, dude. Thank you.
All right, take care, man.
All right, thanks. Have a good one.
You too.